Howdy, 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 howdy. I'd like to thank y'all for coming out. I've got a few things I got to take care of in the media lab. These items that got to be searched through. Like I said, you listen to those Dan Peñas and some of those others. They talk about the Ziad Abdenor. They talk about the trenches. The trenches. What are the trenches? What are the trenches? I thought it was hard to say on the soldiers, but the peacetime is a battlefield, and we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about cyber war. We're going to talk about how we could be under attack. I've talked to people about this a long time ago, and now it's taken me 6 years to build this network, which I don't have a lot of people. Got about 250,000, and I'm trying to use it. If I could tap into some of my followers or some people of influence, it could be useful. But like I said, I could be censored, I could be blacklisted, could be bird boxed, and I'm going to tell you about the very real threat of cyber terror here in America, foreign and domestic, and how it ties into the principles in my book, Time Wall Principle, namely. You listen and you see if there's not a threat. I've been hit from these people for about 10 years now, and it's a very helpless feeling. It's a very frightening feeling. And the people, the perps, we're going to call them perps, they enjoy tormenting. We'll call them gremlins. They can get into your computer systems. They can maneuver cross-platform undetected. Pretty much, if they can do it to me and get away with it, they can do it to you. They can do it to anybody. And I've seen how far they've gone, and it's a cross-platform. I've been trying to get my cybersec skills up, and I've been mulling over just how they're able to do this. And I've come to the conclusion they may be in cahoots with, the big tech down in Silicon Valley, or worse, they're using them. It's kind of like a game of checkers or chess. One who hops over the other, that's how they're doing. One system gets compromised. The system that owns that system becomes dominant. So when you're talking about what are the botnets or whatever, one, you have the host, the infected computer, infects another computer on that network. Well, here's the thing. Every fucking computer that's connected to that network becomes infected as well. So we talked about cryptocurrency, how these botnets can be used to harvest crypto. We don't know what happened to all that money. Could have been used to finance military operations, could have been used to finance coups. We don't know what happened to that money. I don't know. You're going to have to talk to the CIA or the FBI about that. And I want to talk to you about, like I said, I called the FBI a long time ago. I went to jail over telling some of these people about these problems, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore because what it indicates to me, every day that goes by is another day. It's a war of attrition. It's long suffering. And it ends with America's demise. And really, in my opinion, it comes back to America's failure. If America fails to provide safety and security for its citizens, all of its citizens, then it proves that America is not holding up to its part of the bargain by standing on the principles that it was founded for. In this age, America's not that old. They say, history could be a lie. We're not going to get into all the conspiracy theories, but Mississippi alone ain't even 200 years old yet. You think about some of these other countries, they're the dynasty's 1,500, 2,500 years before Christ. So what is this little country that pops up? Well, I've been being attacked, like I said, through Facebook, through Twitter, through a lot of these ones. We got a congressman looking for a $200 million lawsuit against Twitter. I've been put in the proverbial bird box. So you say, well, thankfully, the president has not been hacked on the Twitter yet, but it could be a matter of time. You know, these news media, these little media companies, if they can attack some of us, it's only a matter of time before they can start hacking into the Pentagon, hacking into the government, hacking into the military. And the attack that I see looming is they're doing these subliminal attacks. They're trying to do things. And it all comes back to these data centers that I believe are buried in the sand somewhere. They draw their own conclusions and they strike. Now, you say, well, Tyler, what's going on? I said, I had cold hard evidence last night. They're trying to castrate America. They're trying to crush the very balls of this country. They're trying to turn the women into little whores. And they're fucking us. And a lot of that's going to change. A lot of that's going to change. And they're getting on it. Like I said, but this is where it comes in the time wall principle. And why I think that we're at pretty big risk. You know, our country is very fluid. It's very good. But if you look at Moore's Law and you look at how the country was able to move, you say, well, back in the 40s or the 50s, they may or may not have had the computer stuff that they have today, or they say they didn't. Now, imagine the amount of people. You know, we talk about replacing humans with machines and processing power. A human can do, say, 600 calculations per $1 or per second. Well, the computers are now increasing like 800 to 900 calculations per $1 per second. That may not be the exact formula, but it's something to that state. So basically, you've got a bunch of human systems, cybernetic organisms possibly, and they are basically, they're not coming up to snuff with the new machines. And I think that in the long run, these people that are pushing for these machines, get rid of the people, they're going to be sadly disappointed. Because even now, they're missing out. That whole curve from, say, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up into this present, there are lots of work that could have been done. In theory, it could have done and would have changed the trajectory of America. And they say, well, that's madness. That's bullshit. And I say, well, let me tell you how it's been affecting me. They've been fucking with my dating apps. They've basically censored me. 2 apps I know are in collusion. Your Plenty of Fish, your Meet Me, which used to be my yearbook, is owned now by Facebook. You have a few of these companies that are all in cahoots. They're able to track me through my cell phone, my IMEI number. So they know who I am. They have a digital signature. And they say, well, we don't like this guy. You go back, you look at the rings, look at all this weird stuff. It's like, is that the red herring? I don't know. But whatever the case may be, they're able to get away with it. So we've got someone in the U.S. Is it coming from Virginia? Do we got some nappy old ladies up there framing people, setting people up, fucking people over? Could be. We could have people in our very own agencies that are attacking us through these platforms. And in that case, they're traitors. Enemies, foreign and domestic. If they're attacking their own people, they're turning on their own people. Like I said, we had $25 million spent investigating our great president, accusing him of shit he didn't do. That's $25 million, people. The little ants like me find it hard to come up, with some loot to send day by day. And they're using their systems to smash guys like me, smash conservative voices, smash people who give a damn about their country. You know why? Because they've already made their money. They're in the process of selling us out. And every day that they install these systems is another day that they're getting closer towards achieving their agenda. And I'm going to tap into that. Like I said, I only got an hour with you today. I got a lot of shit I've got to do. But I figured as I'm working, I'm going to tell you what they're doing and if you can help. Like I said, I got nobody in here. I'm not implying collusion on that. You got to go and trust some of the data and say, well, there's a lot of paranoia. That is one of the tools they use to destroy. And I'm going to tell you how, because I called the FBI. I called the Secret Service. I think I may have even reached out to CIA. And you say, well, they hear about guys like me and they say, oh, that guy's crazy. He's not a security cleared holder. He's not nobody. Fuck him. Fuck him. And, I think, okay, whatever. The job of the fucking FBI, as far as I know, they need to, it's their job to look into national stuff. They need to be looking into, okay, breaking up these rings, breaking up all this other stuff. And then they've got the cyber task force. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not trying to stone the FBI, but I got in touch with these people. They wouldn't listen to me on the phone. They hung up on me the first fucking time. Well, they may be listening to me on the phone, but that's about it. I told them what was going on. They said, man, you're crazy. You're crazy. Don't worry about that. They hung up. I told them I was very scared about this. I'm taking a risk here messaging these people. I'm an ex-con and they don't like me. But I said, hey, now, I'm getting my shit together. I'm a patriotic man. They need to be in my corner right now. I'm an American. I support America. I know where I stand. Do you know where you stand? Because if you're still fucking with me, we've got to find you out. Because I'm thinking that you could be in cahoots with the enemy. And if not, it's coming down to a bet. I'm right or you're wrong. So we're waging the stakes every day. And eventually we're going to come down to Judgment Day. And we're going to see who was right. The bum down there or the big rich agencies that were possibly stepping on the guy. And you better hope they're right. That's all I can say is you better hope they're right. Because if they're wrong, some heads are going to roll. And some motherfuckers are going to pay. Because if I'm right, they could have wasted millions and trillions of dollars. Fuck the money. We could be at risk of a major attack, and we're going to be hard pressed to keep up with it because we will have, in theory, lost, hundreds of years, possibly thousands of years of man hours, and also no telling how much money. I try to maneuver freely through these networks. I don't cause a lot of problems. I'm just testing them pretty much like any individual you would see out here. I'm operating these networks. I'm giving ground truth information. Welcome to the second quarter, people. We got 4 quarters, 4 quarters, 4 quarters. I'm a weatherman. I don't give a rat's ass about the other shit. I've spent more than half of my life involved in the weather, Department of Commerce, National Weather Service, one-liner mission, protect against life and property. Okay? That's the mission of that organization. Provide warnings that can save American life and American property. So we go into officer's oath. We protect against the enemies, foreign and domestic, foreign and domestic. And it's our job to make sure that America's protected against these enemies. Well, they're not working together. That's one of the biggest problems that I see in America today. They're not working together. They're still divided. You got one party over here trying to bash another party, and you got one party that's really trying to make a difference. And in the middle, you got people like me that just are starting to lose trust in the system because they're getting fucked through these computers. Like I said, they're castrating me. They're isolating me. I had 2,000 some friends. Facebook took all my friends away. All my connections in the meteorological community that I spent over 15 years, they're all gone. And what's left is a secret number on the profile. They won't fix it. They're besmirching me. They're degrading me. And they've got it all in their little serial numbers. They've drawn their conclusion about me. But they're going to rig me up, and you can go back before I was even born. They make accusations that aren't true because I play little jokes on them. They're illegally monitoring and surveilling U.S. citizens. They're selling us off. They're fucking us over. And I think what we have key players in key positions that may or may not know that they're under the influence of mind control. This is a Department of Agriculture announcement 202. These people can be identified by their names, and they should be relieved from active duty positions at once. If the whatever goes through, there's no collusion, we'll see. But for now, they need to be removed from active duty at once. It's all in the letters, it's all in the numbers, it's all in the names. People don't like my recommendations. They think they're radical, they think they're crazy, and that's okay. But let's go back to Menlo Park. Let's go to Fort Meade, Virginia. Let's go to the big brain, the big beast system, the prison system. And let's go in and let's just go ahead and take a look at if this guy's story is adding up. They won't look. Why won't they look? It's their fucking job. I don't know. If they're not in cahoots, if it's not a collusion to destroy America, which by that we're not talking about the Trump-Russia collusion. That's one thing I learned. Trump is a great president. Collusion, I think we're going to use more and more. I would like to see it used more and more because it's not a problem when the left uses it. But no, it ain't a problem. They use it. Let's see who's really in collusion. Because if you want to say our great president's in collusion and try to keep fucking our country, that's okay. We're going to see how many of you fuckers are in collusion. Because if it comes back that you're fucking with me through these wires, and I've got hard evidence, you're going to pay. I told them time and time again, they got to watch out because it's going to come down to casting lots. Either I'm right or they're right. Somebody's right, somebody's fucking wrong. It's that simple. If they're not hacking my phone, like I come in here the other night to show me these profiles, you go to speak to people. This is important. This is my form of networking. This is important. This is a connection, a so-called collusion that I'm using to not, operate. If you're Facebook, you got a job. You got to be held to a higher standard. You got to be impartial and biased. If you don't like somebody because he's a devil worshiper, if you don't like somebody because he's a pedophile, if you don't like somebody because they're a killer or a burglar or a thief, keep that to yourself. You have no right to intercept someone's communications like that when you have no proof. You have no proof. You come in and you fuck people. The shit disappears. The censorship continues. And no one will do anything to stop it. They can delete the records. They can reformulate the shit. And in turn, they're micromanaging America. They are micromanaging America. They are taking over America. They are slowing us down. Same with Amazon. And this is where I said, I don't hate Bezos anymore. Hell, Bezos could be at risk. He's the richest man in the world. All right? Richest man in the world. Richer than Bill Gates. Richest man in the world. His company, Amazon, should be the best company. And Amazon does a good job with the books. But there are people within Amazon that are attacking me. And I've lost no telling how much money. They own a monopoly on this seller and this other stuff. And they've been throwing the same cryptic shit. So my thing is, there are people within Amazon as an organization. There could be a coup within the organization. There's only one Jeff Bezos. All right? And that's a big company. I mean, he would literally have to come down to the call centers. It's a multinational organization. He'd have to come to some of these foreign countries, some of these other places. He'd have to look in and literally go down into the very nuts and butts of the framework, because it could be as simple as a few lines of code. Whatever it's doing, it doesn't work. And I don't think if it doesn't work for me, I've called the people and they lied to me. They lied to me time and time again. And I've yelled at them. And if you can't take the yelling because you're fucking up, hey, maybe it's time for you to stand down and get another job. The problem is like the trench foot, it's a fucking war. They're destroying my finances. They're destroying my options. And there's no telling how deep this could go. If they're doing this to a lot of other people, we're losing the war. We're losing the war. It's only a matter of time until they get into the military networks. And it's only a matter of time if these organizations aren't weaponized. They have more dirt and more information on everybody. And they have more technology than a lot of people. They could be making backroom deals with the Reds. They could try to control the media. And now the people are just, and I'm telling you, most of the people are worn out. I've seen them. I've asked them. They're worn out. A lot of them. They're worn slap out. I can't get them to work with me or nothing. These people won't work. And that goes back to what could have been. What would the trajectory have been? So there they say, well, he said a lot of things. He set up a lot of traps. I pulled a lot of strings. So for those that believe in this multidimensional bullshit, this really hippy-trippy shit that goes into like across the world, they're going to have to deal with the facts. Are they going to protect American citizens from these invaders? There's no cops for that today. And it shows that it's bullshit. I can't call if somebody's breaking into my home. If somebody's breaking into my home, I could call the cops. Now, there's a lot of crooked cops. I'm not staying anywhere, but a lot of times you call the cops. There's somebody breaking in my home. They're going to come and they're going to look into it. As a crook, they call me a crook who's been at the receiving end of the legal system. I know. But what it seems to be, we get lots of these motherfuckers out here that are they're set up on the old shit. I called the cops recently just to test it. This is months ago. Months ago, I called the cops and said, hey, they're hacking in. This was back with YouTube. They're fucking me. I've worked for 6 years. They're not fixing my shit. This is stealing my money. They've lied to me. This is cyber fraud. They sent me to some number that I don't even know if it was the FBI. Could have been, could not have been. And then they come and they hit you with the greatest lie of all. They said, send an email to this form to the FBI. I said, Some people got mad at me. I sent messages to Russia, to China, to France, to some of these foreign countries. I didn't know what was going on. And I also, to test the systems, none of the messages went through. None of the messages went through. And I'm like, well, maybe one of these foreign countries will take up for me. You know, a lot of these people are interested in that shit. Maybe they'll take up for me. Or we can get closer to finding out who is responsible for these attacks, these mysterious attacks. I have nothing to hide. I can tell the truth about everything. These motherfuckers have something to hide. They're breaking the law every day. And until we can get in here and find them, we're in a world of pain. I called the cops here. I'm going to just show you just how vulnerable America is. Just how much you have no control. You have no earthly idea. And you're about to get fucked. They're about to destroy your whole country. I'm just telling you. And you'll see. I called the cops. And I said, hey, these fuckers down here in Silicon Valley at this company are rigging me up. They're fucking with my shit. And it has to do with the quantum rigging, using the quantum systems to rig people up. I told them, I said, look here. You got to go down there and get them. They said, well, what do you want us to do? Oh, country, town. We can't go to San Francisco. So basically you say, well, so you're telling me you're my county law enforcement and you can't protect me. Well, I have to call the state. So you want me to call MBN? What is it? Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics, and you see the drug war. It's all fraud. It's all sham. Just like the legal system. 70% of the lawyers, 80% of the lawyers in town, what are they for? Criminal defense. Because somebody drank a fucking beer or got caught with a bag of joint. They got soldiers over there fighting and dying. Your kids over here get caught with a bag of powder. He's looking at 20 years in prison. So ain't that something? Your cops are so busy fucking veterans' kids over and locking our youth behind bars over a fucking gram of powder or a joint. And you can't protect us from these cyber invaders that are tapping our phones, that are fucking us up. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. And let me tell you, those underpaid assholes, oh, they're gonna get fucked. They're gonna get fucked. They're gonna get slapped in the head with a fucking drone that's gonna claw on their face and blow their fucking head off. Because when these motherfuckers come in, you want these verbose weapon systems, you're not going to be able to beat these. You're not going to be able to beat this enemy. You're not going to be able to beat this enemy. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now. You may have something that I don't know about. That's cool. But if you don't, guess what? You're going to be in some serious, serious trouble because you dropped the ball. You wouldn't protect your country against enemies, foreign and domestic. So we say, let's continue the course. We're heading into the third quarter here. Nobody's in here again. You say to Terry, now what are you going to do? You called your state law enforcement. You called your local cops. Now I get to call San Francisco cops. They said, call the cops down there in San Bruno in San Francisco. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. You call them up and their numbers are the same fucking numbers of serial shit. It's way above a lot of y'all's pay grade. It's probably Q level clearance, top secret clearance, secret clearance, top secret clearance shit I'm not even sharing about. I may have stumbled upon something. And they're not going to talk to a civilian about that shit. Fuck no. This goes into the real collusion. This goes into God bless America. God bless our president. He is going to sweep house. He is going to sweep house. And you're going to rue the day. You're going to rue the fucking day. I'm telling you. He's going to get you. He's going to get you. He's going to get you. Fucking with us. He's going to get you. And that worries me with the numbers. 45th, 35th, 25th. You go down. I think there's something out there. A base, something. I just have a feeling about it. That's my gut telling me that. It's not going to be hard to defeat once we find it. But the closer we get to it, it's got a lot of power. We don't know yet. I don't know. But let me just go ahead and continue. I'm showing you the vulnerability. This is my right hand of the good Lord. I'm not lying. I call down there. San Francisco cops, Santa Barbara cops say, hey, what do you want me to do about it? You get a call. Think about how many calls they get a day. And you get a call from some crazy fucker in Mississippi saying, hey, these guys are stealing my shit. What do you want me to do? Plus, they pay them. They got them so deep in their pockets, you wouldn't even know. The cops are crooked. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. They're going to bust you. They're going to plant a gram of powder on you. Like 70, 90% of the laws are not focused on protecting against the real crooks. They're fucking their own people up. And word is, they're poisoning G's in the fucking jailhouses. I don't know if that's true or not. They lock down the strong and they get rid of they poison off the weak. And I tell you what, it's not America. It's not us. It's not our new administration. You know, and we don't have long. We've only got about 6 years left. And that's if we win in 2020. If. And I believe we're going to win. We got to pull off this win for Trump, 2020. A lot of people don't like the politics. I'm not trying to fuse politics. I'm just trying to go. It's just like a child that's been hurt or abused. You go to a grown-up you can trust. You understand me? You go to a grown-up you can trust. Somebody's fucking up. This ain't snitching. I done cleared my shit, and I don't go to lawyers when I have to. My lawyer won me a case, by the way. I got a little bit of money, and I'm thinking about talking to him about it. But this goes back to the lawyers. I call my local sheriffs, and I call the sheriffs in that country. I mean, in that state, they can't do anything. None of the cops will do anything. So that's basically eliminated local law enforcement from the game. Local law enforcement does not have the tools to deal with his enemy. They just don't. And so now we got to move up to state law enforcement. State law enforcement is not going to touch it. It's not a state issue. This is interstate. So we have to work up to federal level. This is pretty much the tip of the pyramid, the tip of the spear. That's FBI. FBI is going to handle a lot of your local case. I mean, your federal cases, interstate trafficking, human trafficking, big drug smuggling rings, big corruption rings. They're going to be the ones that could bust in. They could have their hands in the pocket. I think you've got sleepers. We've already determined the fact. A lot of these probes, they're dragging them out. They're getting those sons of bitches out of there. But it's hard to get them because they come in with the crooked media. They attack them. And then they censor them. And then you're sitting in a courtroom for 6 months trying to get a son of a bitch out of there. And in that time, the rats in that organization are festering. They're festering. And they're moving at warp speed. Back to Moore's Law, back to time law principle. They are moving. They are trucking. They're not held down by the legal system. They're not held down by these outdated systems. They're coming behind us. I call FBI. They're the only motherfuckers that can do anything about it. And I'm scared. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm scared of the cops. You know, I'm the kind of guy you call the cops, but they go and arrest you. It's like that. What is that? Dave Chappelle. You know, he calls the cop. Somebody's breaking into my house, and they come in and they say, "Whoa, what is this black guy doing in here? This house is too nice for him. Are you the burglar?" And they knock him over the head. Just sprinkle a little crack on him. You know, that's pretty much what it is. So I went down here to the lawyers. I had to go for business lawyers, business law, because I'm trying to get into business. My 501c3 organizations, so these other organizations, it's over my head. I could sit here and read law books up to here, but by that time the fucking war is going to be over. I needed to get a lawyer to do it. Lawyer said it'd take 6 months. He wasn't going to take my case. There was only 2 fucking lawyers in town, 2 lawyers that knew how to complete the action that I was working on, one of these pseudo organizations. He was the only lawyer in town that knew how to do it. He wasn't going to take the case. And he was going to ask an exorbitant amount of money, which, like I said, kills the local law enforcement, kills the low-income entrepreneur, kills the grassroots motherfucker, and they're stealing this shit right through the wires. The low man does all the work, and they're stealing it. It's a steel factory. It's not good for America. Third quarter now, or heading into the second quarter. So we get this fucker. I call him up. I'm not even concerned who I was talking to. Like I said, they hang up on me. They hang up on me. To me, if you're going to hang up on me, you got to go. You got to go. You're not doing your job. I mean, if I had to sit up there and get paid to listen to a bunch of drunks ramble, or somebody, you know, I mean, hey, we got to find out if this leads good or not. Hey, I ain't calling no more. I'm sitting back and trying to get a passport and leave. I'm out. I'm trying to get out. And then you'll find you can't even get out. Can't even get out of the trap. It's all rigged. All rigged. All of it. So I asked the cops, FBI people, what can I do? They said, go on to this website. It's their cyber crime bullshit line. You got to type in whatever the perp is doing and submit to them a report. Well, I submit them a report. It goes through that same shit. I said, they're blocking my cyber. Don't you understand? My report's getting jammed up. If they can block me on these apps and shit, what makes you think they can't block me from sending a report to the FBI? So the report fell on deaf ears. Submit the report, the page is jammed up. The page does not work, or did not work at the time. So you tell me, if the FBI's page don't work, your state law enforcement page don't work, your other law enforcement page don't work, well, they're not working. They're not equipped to deal with this problem, or they just don't give a fuck. So the next option is CIA. That's a step above. But CIA doesn't really fuck with local shit. It's more international. So you say, well, what are these hackers? You got hackers down there in the Philippines. You got hackers down there in, Colombia. You got hackers over here in these Asian countries. You got hackers over here in Russia. You got hackers over here in these small island chains down there. There's a lot of them down there. Booming economies. A lot of these small islands, a lot of you fuckers don't even know about. Booming economies. I got 7-year-old kids that can hack into fucking banks. And they're in there, they're watching them. So we say, well, if these perps are coming from overseas, that's CIA's job. Well, what's CIA going to do? They got to get together some people. They got to go over there and they got to kill those 7-year-old boys. Say, oh, we can't kill kids over there in fucked up countries. Like, you can't kill kids in fucked up countries, and they're fucking our country up. So that cyber attack's an act of war. You go down there and you kill them. Or better yet, you trace route it, you send a guided missile straight through the fucking building. They don't want to do that. So they're just getting back and they're getting fucked. They're getting fucked. They're getting fucked. They're about to sweep our legs from beneath us. It's only a matter of time. I'm thinking they're tied in, definitely the Android phones. I'll never use an Android, but even these right here, they can get into the phones, they can get into your computers, they can sabotage your work. I can't tell you how many man hours I've lost. There's only so much I can do a day. Now, I put in 8, 12 hours of work on whatever I'm working on. This YouTube's the only way I really have to make any money. And like I said, nobody's even on here. You know, we got 80 million of them. They're going and they're watching these videos. Like I said, they're lullabying you all to sleep. And you're all going to sleep. You're all going to bed. Because the way I figure it is, you know, I'll fight and die for my country. And that's fine. That's between me and the man upstairs and the universe. Simulation theory or not, you're not fighting and dying for your country. So God forbid, a lot of them don't believe in God, don't believe in the man upstairs. You know, you're not going to be able to take any of this shit with you. You're going to take your deeds. You're going to take your honor. I've done my part. I've switched the strings. I'm telling the truth. What do you have now? I passed the ball to you. You're an attacker. You're an aggressor. And you keep attacking. So the stakes are going to go up. They're going to go up. And from there, it's whose will against whose will. And if they can't get in there, I'm not going to run this full hour. I got a lot of shit to take care of. If they aren't prepared to deal with this better, I called the lawyers. No lawyers. They're all for, you know, getting out of drug cases. You pay the lawyer enough, and he makes a backroom deal with the judge, and he might get you off. If you don't have money, you go to jail. You're part of the prison industry. They're not going to fight for you. They're going to take all your money, and they're going to keep you poor. They're not going to fight for you. And it just goes to show you can give them money, and they say, well, we might win the case, we might not. They're going to take your money and say, oh, we need more. Crooked lawyers, crooked doctors, they're crooks. And a lot of them got soft, and they got to go. From the bottom to the top, we need a clearing house. Like I said, you got to look at the names. It's easy to find the names. You know, I think we can compile. I could go through the name list. You know, I'm trying to get to Menlo Park. I'm trying to get to there. They won't let me up there. They're going to see. They need to do a clearinghouse. I think there's a coup in the works. I think there's a lot of things in the works. But we'll see how it pans out. We will see. But time is short. Time is short. And it's just like I'm the kind of guy, you know, I'm going to fight. I'm going to dig in. But I'm out here getting trench foot. And these guys are smoking dope and drinking beer and wanting me to do their work for them. It's like, hey, well, fuck it. Nobody wants to fight. Let's sit here and wait on the drones to come get us. They've rigged my shit up, and they fuck with me on levels the lawyers won't touch them. Nobody will fuck it with them. Nobody will stick up for me. And, well, that's all I got to say about that. Y'all take it easy and watch out.